Hi, parents and students of class of 2021. This is going to be Jumpstart meeting number 16. We had it on yesterday, which is Sunday, the 21st, but many of you might have missed the meeting. I'm going to go through here and go over some of the relevant parts of our presentation. If not all of it, I'll see what I can do and not keep this from getting too long. There's some very good information in here, and you can watch it over and over again if you need to. Please remember, try to make our meetings. There was a super question and answer segment at the end, but for privacy reasons, I can't provide that. But it was very informative if you were in the meeting live. That's going to be something you can always get. Also, the notes from the presentation are available that were made available during that session. You'll have to email me for those. But try to make our meetings, I think, really make things easier. And there's some perks that you get by attending our meetings that I'll go into at a later date, probably next week, our next meeting that we have. All right. All right. So let's get on with it. And there's all my contact information if you need to get a hold of me. Our website is shown here as well, www.westa-eep.org. You can go there and click new events and find out about all of the things going on in the future. So in case you miss our emails, where we remind you, or our newsletter. That's another thing. Please open our newsletter. It comes out on Mondays. One's out today. Please open our newsletters. There's some good stuff in there that will help your students. We can't cover everything in these meetings because they can only be so long, especially on Zoom. It's just not the right way to do that. But I hope you look at me in every place on my website, even in our social media. There's also a lot of great information. We have a YouTube page at westa-eep.org, or actually westa-eep, I think it's under, or just Google, just go to YouTube and type in Education and Enrichment Program. You go right to our YouTube channel. Why don't you subscribe there? Click subscribe, go through some of the videos. There's some really good stuff there. All right, let's go ahead on and do this. First of all, we went through some more of this. How much will you pay for college? Just in case you missed earlier meetings, I reviewed this on Sunday. We can take a look at two typical financial aid awards. One on the left is a typical CSU financial aid award for 2019 adjusted gross incomes of $45,000, actually less than $45,000. It's typical to that income range. You can see that all manner of financial aid is available with that income, because in the state of California, you pay almost nothing out of pocket or a very low amount for college. This year, it's a little higher than usual, but even then, it's still not much, as you'll see in a moment. If you look at all these forms of financial aid that are shown here, I think you'll see these here. Just a minute. I'll make it easier for you, I hope. Okay. All right. You can see here that that we have unsubsidized loans, subsidized loans, Pell Grants, university grants, Cal Grant, federal work study, and the Parent Plus loan are all listed on this particular financial aid award. And each financial aid award is a little different. As I pointed out before, the one thing that's not on a financial aid award is how much you're going to pay for the college. That's for you to figure out for yourself. You have to figure that out. And they don't make it easy for you to do it. I've never understood why, but it's just not easy to do. Hopefully this will help you. If you see that the total financial aid award here is $26,247, the direct cost of the school is over here. It's tuition and fees, room and board. Now, you might wonder where I got those from. I just Googled the name of the school and total cost 2021, okay? That's all I did, and I was able to get this information. The direct cost of the school is $23,350. All right, we'll look at this one later. This is a family that had adjusted gross of $55,000 to basically show you what kind of award you'd expect there. And that's $35,000, but look at all that Parent Plus loan. All right, along those lines, let's go to the next page. Just a moment. And there's the same financial aid award. But what have I done here? I've actually drawn a line through the federal work study and the Parent Plus loan, and that means it changes the total. And that's because those are not considered relevant financial aid. Why is that? Because federal work study, they may not get a job. And actually, there are many of us that think they shouldn't work the first semester, they should get adjusted to the campus. It isn't enough money to justify it anyway. They pay well below the minimum wage for federal work study, usually $8 or $9 an hour. You can do much better with a regular job on the campus, which is what most of our students do. But even then, it's not going to go toward tuition. It's going to go toward their spending money, parents, because you're going to not just send them less when they get paid, and they'll have spending money. The plus loan is a parent loan, and they're assuming for you how much your parent loan will be. And it might end up being $4,000. Let's take it out for now. When we do that, in the red here, we have our new financial aid award is $20,247, and the direct cost is 23. So you can see you're about 3,000 short. In that case, about $250 a month short, or maybe $300 short for college. Usually at $300 a month, parents can figure something out, even if they're making, 40,000, 45,000. Usually relatives and parent can figure out that extra $300 a month to pay for college. So that's not deemed to be a problem. All right. All right. But over here, though, look at this one over here. It becomes $9,000 to pay this $23,000. So you're going to need a parent loan in this case for about $14,000. Certainly not $26,000 as they suggested up here with this particular loan. It's not it's not going to be 26,000 as was originally suggested over here. If you remember that it was 13,000 a semester, but still you need to come up with this additional money. And that's why you're probably going to need a parent loan when you make 55,000 or greater with CSU. Now it only goes up from there. When you're at 70,000, you're probably going to have a loan that's more like $17,000 or $18,000. Okay. Here's another one here for private college, considering the case of a private college. Let's see if we can't deal with this. Okay. Here's a financial aid award for a private college where the income is less than 45,000. You can see the total financial aid in that case comes out to 59,201. But there is a Parent Plus loan for over $13,000 that was projected. And you see, you'll see in a moment, this number is wrong over here. This school is really $69,000, more like the number here. So you can see there's another $10,000. That's not uncommon that students will be expected to pay 4 or 5 times even as much as they would for CSU, even though they don't have the money. They have a reduced income for sure. All right. This family over here, 69,200, but look, the parent loan had to be $40,000. So the parent loan for this family is about $40,000. Remember, I said it's 69,300, not 23,350. I will correct that when you order the copy, okay? All right, so you can see that these are examples of how to read the award. There's the next page, and we take out those amounts. We have a new amount of 44,000 here for this family. And I said it was 59,300. So really, this family is expected to pay $15,000, even though they only made 45,000. And many of us think that that's actually unethical, and that's very typical for private colleges. Over here, the family makes a little more. They make 85,000. They only get 29,000 in financial aid when you take out these two here. And you can see to pay $69,300 is going to be another $40,000. So this plus loan is about right in this case. And that'll be each year. This is just 1 year. So those parents will be about between $160,000 and $200,000 in debt when the student leaves college. And that's why I don't think private school is the best choice in most cases, because it's a non-sustainable income. But yet private schools exist because it's a non-sustainable cost. But they exist because, parents will pay for it and take out the loan. And you really need to think about that carefully before you do it. I have more to say about that in future meetings. We have a video on this called Why Does Private School Cost So Much? And that's something that I've thought about quite a bit. And if you're curious about it, go to our YouTube channel and search for us, West Angeles Education Enrichment Program, and look and click on videos and search for the video called Why Does Private School Cost So Much? All right, let's talk about the college enrollment process and its challenges. First of all, there's admission to the school. The college application can either be accepted, rejected, or waitlisted. The rejected application can be, after the application is rejected, the student should just move on to other schools. I know it's very disappointing for students. And I mentioned at this point the special on Netflix concerning Operation Varsity Blues and how our students are so wired up to go to certain schools, and certain parents even want them in certain schools. When that doesn't happen, there's so much disappointment. But disappointment is one of the first adult lessons that your students should learn, that there is disappointment in life, that we don't get everything we want all the time. And what a very valuable, mature adult lesson to get out of the college admission process. So we should just move on to other schools when that happens. Don't take it personal, when that happens. Review your career and life goals. It's a good time to students to make an assessment on where you are and why did God create you, or just what are some of your career and life goals. You can appeal if there's something wrong in the admissions data or process, or other reasons, I should say, are usually not approved. There has to be something wrong in the process or the data that was submitted. Let's see if you can give an example. Here's some examples of a wrong application. Grades could have been reported wrong. Maybe you wrote them in wrong and reported them wrong on your common application or other application. Maybe the test scores were available but not reported. Maybe you had a test optional school and you weren't going to take the test, but then you ended up taking it, but you didn't report the scores or have the scores sent to the school. And now you want to. So that's an example of an appeal. What about a serious error on your transcript that's now corrected? That'll be, and the school actually got the transcript because they would get it in the case of a non-CSU or a non-UC. But it's now corrected, so you want to show them the new transcript. The only way to do that is if you appeal it. How about the wrong student being reviewed? Say you're a twin or a triplet, one of a triplet or twins, and the wrong student was reviewed. They thought it was you weren't accepted. Now you want the right review. Requirements changed during the review. So during the review, the college changed their admissions requirements and you didn't know it. So you didn't provide something that was needed, but now that you know it, you want to provide it. So that's an example of an appeal because they didn't have all the data they needed. These are great reasons for appeal, each one of those. But notice there's something wrong in the process for those appeals to be listened to. But just appealing because, oh, I really want to go is a subjective appeal. You should only do that in the case of a private college. Public universities can't break the law and they will not go back and admit you. But if there's a subjective appeal, you might get their attention. It's very rare. I've only seen it a couple times. And you may see it this year because some schools may not get the amount of applications they're expecting because of COVID. It's very rarely approved after May 1st, but they may take it after May 1st. It will be heard at private colleges only. Remember, there's nothing wrong on the application on these. For something wrong, they would consider it quickly, right? But this is a subjective appeal. Just you really want to go to a school, you're just disappointed you didn't get in. The best chance is at a school that does not make their yield. So if you get a school like, for example, this year, Howard got way more, like almost twice as many applications as it normally gets. So to try to get into that school for a subjective appeal is going to be very difficult this year because they got plenty of applications. They probably find it very easy to meet their enrollment yield, meaning the students that decide to come. So that's what you're waiting on with an appeal. You're waiting for the students to decide to go to make their decision. Then the college can go, well, we have less or more students than we expected. But the more students they have in the admissions process, the better the chances they'll have all the students they need. But again, it's a matter of dealing with disappointment here. And I'm really sorry when that happens to you, but it's a great thing when you consider in life you're going to have to deal with many disappointments that are far more difficult than not getting into the school you want. Well, what about me? I'd like to be involved in the college decision process if necessary. And so I've created this view graph. I know it's hard to believe, but it's a family affair. I know it's about one student going to college, but the whole family is involved, particularly the father and mother at a minimum, and maybe even the siblings. Here's this device here is called an AND gate. And basically to get an output that they call high or one is to have two inputs that are high or one. If both inputs are the same out here, they're not, neither one is zero, you get a one. But if just one of them is zero, there's not an agreement between these inputs, is there? Your output is zero. And that's how the admissions process ought to go. The parents and the youth need to line up for a decision to be made. They have to be the same for a decision to be made. This first gate is a perfect illustration. When they don't line up, there should be no agreement. You might say, well, we got to make a decision. Yeah, this what this view graph is all about. It's all about how to make that decision. And to understand there needs to be a consensus. Students, you should not desire to go to a school that your parents don't fully support. And parents should not want students to go to schools that they don't want to go to, I suppose. Parents are on stronger ground because they pay for college. So students, you ought to want them involved. So what if the parents are equal to a no, and the students equal to a yes, which is just like this gate here, right? Here there's a 0 and a 1, there's a 0. Here there's a 1 and a 1, it's a 1 on the output. There's just a 0 here because these two inputs don't agree. That's what an AND gate is all about. This and this have to agree. So there's no decision here, right? That's where you want to call me and get me involved. It's a good time to call me. You can appeal to me, find out what I think about the situation. While I won't come in and pick a school all the time, I will help with how you decide. Because a lot of times when you have this disagreement up here, we haven't agreed at how to provide that review, how to decide, basically. And that's why you have disagreement and there's no decision. Because the parents can't go along with what the students want. Or sometimes the student can't go along with the parents see. And that's where you want to appeal to me and get me involved. Okay, I hope that helps you. What are some good reasons to attend a particular college? Affordable and cost sustainable, without large debt or with an acceptable debt. I've never said no debt. It just better be an acceptable debt. Parent youth agree substantially on the college. That's so important from our previous view graph, right? Career path is evident with other options. All right, so you got a career path issue. You have to have options within your school and not just say, well, it has to be a certain degree, right? But if you look at schools as career paths, there might be a lot of different paths and there's other options, okay, within that campus on those basic career areas. So start thinking about what jobs you want to do, what careers you're interested in when you're picking your college. See if your college can get you there. They may not have the exact major, but maybe they can get you there. I can help with that too. Just get a hold of me. How about the feel of the campus? It's very acceptable. It means it has all the feeling you want to get from a college campus. It's going to be kind of hard now if you visit a school to get that. Here in California, they're all closed. But that's a good way to consider it. The feel of the campus is very acceptable. That's why you attend a particular college. And there's other nice comforts that might cause you to pick the college, like Starbucks, Jamba Juice, Chick-fil-A, places you really like to go to eat might be on the campus. Okay? Here's some things to remember about the college admissions enrollment process. National Decision Day is May 1st. The deadline to decide on one campus. That's the deadline for it, May 1st. I think you should decide before May 1st. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But definitely don't rush it for now. There's a danger, by the way. Some of you might be thinking, some of your parents might be thinking, well, I'm going to deposit at 3 or 4 colleges. You can certainly do that, but it's a total waste of money. You won't get any of those deposits back. And first of all, how far will you go? Will you also make the housing deposit, the orientation deposit, all the other deposits at the school? Usually the answer is no. But that'll be the only way it would be legitimate if all of those questions are answered up front. Okay? Please decide by after April 1st, but by April 20th. Okay? So between the 1st and 20th of April is when I want you to decide. Due to social distancing, housing will be more expensive than ever this year, and more of a shortage for first year students possibly who do not have not or could not prepare properly. The schools could not prepare properly for this. And that's why I'm wondering about CSU. They're not doing any preparations right now, and they got to open in the fall. I'm a little concerned. They start pretty soon here, then I might believe it. Um, so social distancing of housing is more expensive. Socially distanced housing is more expensive. Think about it. You could only put 2 and 1 student in a room. They used to hold 3 or 4 students in these large rooms for students. They can't do that anymore in the COVID era. So I think COVID has brought back a big change in housing. And that means for our students, it might be a good idea to deposit early. And I'll talk about that. And that's why I say April 1st to 20th. And I don't want to see anybody going to May 1st, given the housing situation at colleges. The following other colleges costs occur immediately after depositing for college. And we're talking about things to remember about admission on May 1st. Here's some costs that follow immediately after deposit for college. There's going to be a deposit for the college you're going to make. Housing deposit, parent and youth orientation, deposits, usually mandatory, and air travel and other college costs. Those are some of the costs that you incur immediately after you deposit for college. And you can't get financial aid for any of these. Now, what I was going to say a minute ago was you might have some that one of your teachers or the principal might have certain scholarships they can tell you about it. Or it could be that will cover this phase, that specifically target this phase. But it could be that a school will lower its deposits for students that are getting Pell Grants or have extreme need basis. Check with your financial aid office about that. Or you can give me a call. I can tell you whether it's going to be the best way to go about it. Things you remember, part 2. Here are the things you need to address prior to deciding on a college. The actual cost of a college. You need to know what college is going to cost before you pick the college. Don't pick the college and then hear the cost. And you can note the amount of merit scholarships that are awarded by your college. Okay? It's if you get a merit scholarship, you might not want to look at the cost of the college because you got a scholarship. But that's you looking at your desire to attend the college rather than accept the reality of how it will be paid for. If your campus is open, you need to visit the campus. Any campus of any school you want to go to that you get accepted to, you need to visit that campus. Arrange for your visits right away. Airplanes are safe now. They have high immunity percentages. Nearly no outbreaks occur on airplanes. We're planning some trips, a trip to college, trip or 2 to colleges, but you should be planning your trips too, especially if you want them to go out of town. Remember, California is kind of unique. We're one of the only states that locked down college campuses. The rest of the states, they've been open most of this time. If your campus is open, you need to visit. Airplanes are safe, high immunity percentages now, very important. If your campus is closed, you must address this. How about virtual tours, word of mouth? I'm gonna get some people from the various schools available in these Zooms. Students of mine that have gone to these schools. Word of mouth, calls to your department. It's like, if you know you're gonna major in psychology, then you need to call your psychology department and ask them, can they send you any video about how the department works, or can they send you things of value that you need to know about that department of the school, et cetera. But address the fact that you can't really see the campus. You may get a good feel for the campus that way. Of course, there's a virtual open house meeting that all CSUs seem to have. I think if you do these steps here, they're very valuable steps on what you do about campuses when the campus is closed. Here's a couple of our planned visits. Boys, in fact, if it was any other year, we'd have visited about 5 schools. But now, because of COVID-19 requirements, can only go on a campus if the campus lets us on. And CSUs will not be doing tours of their campuses. So you're going to be asked to attend CSU without touring the campus. That will be up to you. I think it's a high probability of working. Boise State University, we're going to travel there on April 18th and 19th, Sunday and Monday. It'll be $305 per person. It'll be a very safe trip to and from Boise. Okay? South Pacific University, we're waiting the college, letting us know what's happening there. We'd like to send a student or two to that campus, but they've announced they're not going to do tours this summer, only by request. And we just made a request since we have a good relationship with their admissions office. Maybe she get back to me tomorrow. Contact Grand Canyon University for free visits to their campus. They have 2 more free visit opportunities coming up. I need you on that trip. If you're looking at Grand Canyon, you need to see the college. Get on that trip. Very important. Okay, so contact GCU directly for free visits. If you visit closed schools, remember they all look deserted when the students aren't there. So don't have high hopes that you'll feel a certain way. Decide high hopes as you're getting familiar with the campus. Don't have high hopes that any student that you meet with is going to come, is going to somehow, if you go there and see there's no students, I should say, I'll tell you the other way around in a minute. You see there's no students there. I don't want you to assume that it's an antisocial campus or just feels so barren and lonely. That's the way it's supposed to feel with no students there, okay? But the thing you want to do is you want to talk to students who attended that school and can tell you more about the life of that school and how vibrant it is. We hope to get some students in to have those conversations with you. Part 3, please watch for the need for a quick pivot back to the CSUs. This is the way it works. You start looking at private schools, you realize that they're super expensive and your mother can't afford it. Now you have to pivot back to your CSUs. And hopefully you've been checking your portals and your emails. So there's not something they've asked you for, you didn't provide it, so they drop you from the process totally. So please be aware of this quick pivot idea that students may figure out, ooh, I'm not going to be able to pay that much for college. Hopefully they can turn around and go back to CSU and they haven't lost their way. You need to check your portals and the emails to see the status of your CSUs, so you know how they're coming along while you're applying to private college. Early indication from private schools that they are not doing nearly the normal level of grants and scholarships as before. You better believe it. They're not looking at those as much anymore because they're in serious financial trouble. And that's why that's true. Only the top GPA students will probably get substantial grants to the universities. Early indications are also that UC is harder to get into this year. Students with high GPAs probably are looking to stay in the state, again, in the COVID-19 fears and concerns. It's causing people to stay in their tracks and get frozen in their tracks. But maybe it shouldn't do that, right? Don't decide too early, no need to sprint. Please await all college decisions before you decide where you're going. Wait all the decisions. That last decision you didn't open may provide a surprise from the campus had you opened it earlier. Please await all college decisions first. Check your CSU portals and email while you're waiting, okay? All right. Be sure all financial aid documents are updated and submitted. FAFSA college list should match the college list of applicants. CS profile should be delivered now. If you need help getting that delivered, let me know. Be sure you have a career path at the school of choice. Okay, be sure you have a career path at school of choice. Very important. You don't want to pick a school just to pick a school. You want a school that gets you involved in your career. Be sure you have a career path at the high school of choice. At the school of choice, excuse me. You pick a certain college, and this is things to remember about picking your colleges. Hopefully you've charted a career path using that university. Very important. Please factor in the academic preparation you will need for college. The academic preparation is huge. College enrichment, you should take college early before you go to college. Best way to get ready for college, be enriched for college, is to take classes from a college professor. And that will be our trade tech college while in high school program. We'll be announcing some new schedules for some new schedules really soon here that should help you with the decision. But in general, remember that April 1st, April 20th. There's some schools we're going to recommend you do it even sooner. I'll get those to you by email, like an early schedule, sort of. But don't decide too early. There's no need to sprint. Wait to make sure you know all the things you need to know. I'll describe those in a moment. Please await all college decisions, all your colleges. Check your CSU portals and email while you're waiting. Be sure that all financial aid documents are updated and submitted. The FAFSA college list should match the college list of applications. CSS profiles should be delivered now, right away. Be sure you have a career path, school of choice. Talk about that. Please factor in the academic preparation you'll need for college. The college enrollment is very important that you take some 2-year college classes before you go to college. I know I mentioned it for a second time, but it's very important because it's not only is going to be extra credits before you go to school, but it's going to help to academically prepare you to take a college class from a college instructor. It's very important. Back in our session, I suggested that pre-med students take biology prior to going away to college. So if they fail it, they get it out of their system. They do much better when they get to their school. The number one concern should be your actual writing and math skills. You really need to be strong in these before you go away to college. Academic preparation, how we will help you. 2 to 3 colleges this summer by our EEP, that's us, and LA Trade Tech partnerships. You could take classes from that this summer. That'd be a way we could help you. Another way we can help is if you're not strong in math or writing, take the placement test and do a non-credit math or writing developmental course at a California 2-year college. You could blow in there and take a non-credit math course. That's another way to do it. Because just to make you stronger in math or writing. Those are 2 areas where everybody could get stronger. And it's the areas where I see weakness causing a lot of problems with students. West State EEP Summer Bridge Program is something else you can do. We're going to have college prep classes as part of that. We're going to have college prep biology, college prep chemistry, right? They're going to be offered during the summer. You might want your student to take those. Okay? All right, they're for high school graduated seniors only. Our college classes are only for high school rising college students. We'll have math workshops, writing workshops, and college biology prep for first year pre-med students. Okay. Okay, here are the top reasons for quick stop out. There it is, top of the list, inadequate academic preparation. And that's why I was just covering getting prepared academically over here. They're related, okay? Top reasons for quick stop out from college. Inadequate academic preparation. That's number one by far. A student's not adequately prepared to go to the campus. But the good thing is you have a lot of months to get ready to do that, especially if they're not going to log in this fall. You have plenty of time to really look at this issue and prepare your youth for college. In the Zoom world, failure to connect with the teacher and or what they were teaching. So you're in Zoom, you're having trouble keeping your concentration up, you'd be very normal. You have trouble connecting with the teacher. These are going to be things you need to know if you go away to school and they have a hybrid or they have an online model at the school, at your college, right? Then that problem will follow you to college. You need to get confident in that area because, I have this down here. How are things going now with school? I mean, meaning if you're having Zoom now, as difficulty learning on Zoom now, it's no sin. Just apply that understanding to they tell you their classes are online in college, right? Social and cultural adjustment issues. Ooh, that will cause students to stop out. Okay. Cost issues. Parents had hoped things would be easier than it was. They sent a student to the college as a freshman. They're getting ready for next year. They realize the loan's going to be there again. It's going to owe 30,000 after 2 years. They quickly will put their foot down and say, "No, my son's just not going to be able to do college." That'd been great to say that before they went, but sometimes they say it after the first year, and that's a quick stop out. You stop out for cost issues. All right, here's how to graduate in 4 years or less. Actually, I think you can do it in less with this chart. Look over here at the summer, fall, spring totals. Okay, same thing over here. This is only a 15 here for spring. There it is over there. Okay, so this chart is very important because it shows 6, 9, 12, 15 credits being done in the summer. Taking a course in the summer is essential to getting you out of college faster because this student has 132 credits, which is more than enough to graduate, right? Then up here, then you can see up here, we actually have classes they've taken in 2024, 2025. But again, that 3 takes us up to the 132 or the 33. So these numbers at the top were very important to determining what you're going to pay. Or I should say, for determining how long, I just look at that and say, what you're going to pay. Because I'm thinking that there's a link between how long you stay in college and how much it costs. But actually, what I should say is how long you'll be in college. You should really take classes in the summer to get out in 4 years or less. Things to remember about that? Usually 120 to 23 credits are needed to graduate. So really in this example, you could probably go for a second degree for 4 years, but you're going to finish in 3.5 years with this model. You could finish in 3+, like I said. All right, I hope that helps you to know what we covered this past session. Again, you want to try to start making our sessions to be very important for you in the future to get this information in a timely way. Please come to our sessions, open up our newsletter, go to our YouTube page, click subscribe. I look forward to helping you with your student. You want to meet with me, with your student, go over the financial aid awards. You can certainly do that as a part of the presentation I provided, my phone number and my email address. Go back to the beginning of this video to the first page. You'll see it there. God bless you. Thank you very much for being here.